Hi, my name is Michelle. Recently, one of our neighbours has passed some eggs, freshly laid eggs from their chickens, and a zucchini from their garden over the back fence into the kids' cubby house, and then the kids have been able to go collect that, which is pretty cool.
So last week, one of my neighbours sent a group text that she'd been through her veggie garden and she picked the excess produce and popped it down in her roadside stall. And it was all there. Anyone who needed anything or wanted anything, just to come and grab it.
Nichols Rivulet was a good neighbour. Nichols Rivulet was the best group of neighbours you could have because everyone had something to share. Rexy Smyth had peaches and plums. Casey's had homemade butter. Basil Underwood had Kentish cherries. Ray Sculthorpe had mushrooms. John Cuby had knowledge of anything that went wrong. So everyone had, a story.
There is always a pot of jam. There's some fruit dropped off over the fence. One of my neighbours is a potato farmer, so we come home to bags of fresh potatoes and apples over the fence. They're always looking out for you. If we head out, I get phone calls telling me that there's somebody at my house and do I know who they are? And they're always there when we need them.
You don't necessarily have to be over the fence to someone to be their neighbour. We all share this body of water and that sort of makes us all neighbours really. One of the times we were able to help out the community here is where one of the vessels behind us was smoking and we were able to ferry the fire brigade out and that turned into being able to save that vessel, so that was a great result there. We had a small vessel off the bottom of Bruni, was taking on water and they lost their engine, so that was actually being swept out further to sea, so to be able to give him a hand and bring him back safely was pretty rewarding for the team. So neighbourhood has a broader meaning than most people like to think about. We think about this waterway as pretty much one big neighbourhood.
Another time, another neighbour, also over a fence, didn't need their, their trampoline anymore. They were moving house and they didn't want to take it with them. And I didn't know this was happening, but woke up to find a trampoline in our backyard for our kids to enjoy. Was something at the time, life wasn't fantastic, and so getting a trampoline in the backyard was incredible. It was an incredible blessing.
Prior to living here, we had one neighbour and we had that relationship with them, but this is, this is on a much bigger scale. Everybody cares.
Tidsy Smith, if you got stuck, you'd ring Tidsy or his father, and it was not only your neighbours in Nichols Rivulet, but your neighbours in the next gully over as well, Peter Cohen, with his cutting the cases for my dad and the Wolves cutting the Timberbrow house.
It is a little community up here. We have a phone tree, and when we get a new resident, one of my neighbours gets the details and then he prints off the new phone tree and rides his bicycle around to deliver the new details to everybody.
I have lots of other neighbours around who are always waving when we drive past each other. They know if my kids might be home by themselves for a small moment, that if they need anything, the kids know they can run across the road or run across the paddock and go and say hi and say I need something or can you help me with this, which is really cool. So it's great living in a rural community.
Nichols Rivulet and Garden Spay was built on good neighbours and that friendship. I think it's not just about being neighbours, but we all grew up together. So I think it's just not neighbours, it's all the other things that go on in that just a small little town. No shop, we didn't even have a phone box, but we had the creek, and that was a good neighbour as well, catching fish out of the creek and the eels and that. So that's what neighbours do for one another.
Well, when we get a new neighbour, it's always polite to go and say hello and, we take them some food. We normally take them something sweet to just help ease in a little bit because moving is hard and it's nice to know that the people around you care.